Have you ever been deep in a yoga class, maybe struggling with a pose, and just wondered, is there more to this than just stretching? Well, today we're going to dig into a classic text called Asana Pranayama Mudra Bandha to uncover what yoga was really all about. And spoiler alert, it's probably not what you think. So let's start with this quote. It really sets the stage perfectly. Notice how it says asana is just the first part of yoga. And the goals? Not a perfect body, but steadiness and lightness. Right away, that's a huge clue that maybe the way we practice today is missing a piece of the puzzle. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to go beyond the pose, understand why yoga is way more than just exercise, figure out what those missing pieces are, lay out the essential rules for practice, and wrap it all up with the single most important ingredient: awareness.
All right, let's dive right in. To really get what yoga is, we've got to start with the original purpose of an asana, what we now just call a yoga pose.
You know, one of the most foundational yoga texts defines an asana with this simple phrase: a comfortable and steady position. That's it. The whole point wasn't to nail a crazy handstand. It was simply to get your body so comfortable and so still that you could sit for a long, deep meditation.
And that makes sense, right? Because asana is just one piece of this enormous puzzle. See, yoga has all these different branches, each designed for a different kind of person. The physical hatha yoga that's so popular today, it's just a single path out of all these incredible options.
So this leads to a really important question. If yoga isn't just about the physical poses, then how is it any different from a regular workout? Well, according to this text, the difference is everything.
And here is the core difference. Think about it. A regular workout intentionally stresses the body. You break down muscle to build it back stronger. But Yogasana, it's the complete opposite. The whole goal is to cultivate awareness and harmony, working from the inside out to balance our mind and body.
So what is this internal stuff it's working with? The text calls it prana. You've probably heard of it as ki or chi. It's our vital life force. And get this, the text says that stiffness in your body isn't just tight muscles, it's blocked prana. The yoga poses are just the keys to unlock that energy and get it flowing again.
Okay, so if yoga is this incredibly powerful system for balancing our energy, why do so many of us feel stuck? Why do we hit a wall where it feels like we aren't making any real deep progress?
The answer is so fascinating. The problem usually isn't the poses you're doing, it's the poses you're skipping. In our rush to get to the impressive-looking asanas, we often blow right past the most important foundational steps.
And here it is. The text says, this series, called Pawan Muktasana, which translates to wind-releasing poses, is the absolute essential first step. These aren't fancy or complicated. They're simple, systematic movements designed to open your joints and clear those energy blocks before you even try anything else. For a lot of people, this is the missing piece.
This quote just beautifully sums up the philosophy. Your mind and your body are two sides of the same coin. The core idea is that every single mental tension you have creates a matching physical knot in your muscles. So, when you release the knots in your body, you are directly, literally, releasing the knots in your mind.
Okay, so now we know what we might be missing. How do we actually build a practice that works? Well, the text lays out some very clear, very simple rules.
First off, your environment matters a lot. The text is super specific here. The ideal time to practice is right before sunrise, a time called Brahmahorta, when the world is quiet and so is your mind. And the place? It needs to be calm and clean. The idea is that your surroundings are just as much a part of the practice as the poses themselves.
And a how is also simple, but so important. Always practice on an empty stomach. And this one is huge. Never force or strain. If it hurts, you've gone too far. Period. And always finish with relaxation. That final shavasana or corpse pose, it's not just a little nap. It's where your body gets to integrate and absorb all the benefits of your practice.
Now, this is pretty interesting. The text actually busts a really common myth about diet. It makes it clear that while a moderate, natural diet is great, you don't have to be a strict vegetarian, especially when you're starting out. The real key here isn't restriction, it's moderation. But here's the thing. You could follow all of these rules perfectly and still totally miss the point. There's one final ingredient that turns simple movement into actual yoga, and that is awareness.
So what does that actually mean? It means that while you're in a pose, you are consciously, actively paying attention to the sensations in your body, to your breath, and yeah, even to the random thoughts that pop into your head, just watching them go by without judgment. Without that, you're just stretching. With it,
You're practicing yoga. Awareness is the secret ingredient.
So, the final question to ask yourself is this. Based on everything we've uncovered today about purpose, preparation, and awareness, are you practicing yoga or are you just exercising? It's something to think about the next time you step on the mat. Thanks for joining me.